Sicily, normally bridge collapsed looks at the dew blow from the narrow fields, and when green groups are now fast to swell through the molten water. Environmental warning: in addition to human casualties, entire ecosystems have been temporarily destroyed. In the city of Noto, residents placed candles and the steps of historic cathedral in memory of the victims. Local presses helped open air masses in a flooded courtyard, calling the stretch and the unity. One of the Syrians, Lucia Manso, said, "We lost our beginnings, but not each other, the most important things." Meanwhile, the Italian army remained the standby with more than 400 soldiers destroyed across the isolated to clear debris, reinforce river banks to deliver aid to remove vigilantes. The EU has also experienced its support. A team from the US Civil Protection Mechanism has been sent to coordinate with the Italian authority, increasing the livelihood of international funding to support long-term recovery. Scientists emphasize this is only a high bridge of may become normal. Southern Europe, is especially by the Mediterranean basin, is becoming increasingly vulnerable to extreme weather events and the climate change accelerators. A powerful storm hit Sicily, plunging part of the Italian island into chaos as torrential rain, strong winds and flash floods swept through the gray skies, including Palermo, Catania and Messina. According to Italy's Civil Protection Department, the storm dumped more than 120 mm of rain in just a few hours, nearly a month's worth, flooding streets, collapsing roads and prompted dozens of evacuations. Emergency service responded more than 300 calls using helicopters to board the rescue trapped residents. In Palermo, dramatic footage showed cars flooding like toys and shops in the historic center of flooding. Giulia Romana, a 42-year-old local resident, said, "It was terrible. The water rushed into our house in a matter of minutes. The barrier had time to move the upper floor. Schools were closing in affected regions, and hundreds of people were left without power due to power outage." Authority also reported temporarily closed to Catania airport. The rail runway were flooded, caused delays and cancellations. Meteorologists explained the extreme weather conditions as a mitigant to rare Mediterranean hurricane formed by high sea temperature and unstable air masses. As the sun rose over the devastation streets, scenes of resilience began to emerge. Volunteers from neighboring town arrived the shovels, pumps, and food supplies. In Catania University, standard formed human chain to help clear debris to home of elderly residents. Church bells rang in solidarity of many communities, helped nightly prayers to injure and displace it. One image of White Sicily flag flying proudly over the flood town hall became a national symbol of strength. Local media called at a room and declared a state of emergency to obtain additional funds in the rescue to rapid reconstruction. Engineers are now installing bridges and roads, help workers to warn the possible communication flow to overflow, seen and standing water. Meteorologists at Veto Italia say a storm system may be weakening the residual rains and extended to continue for several more days. The ground is standing with the water. Warming climatologist Dr. Elena Ferraro even tell additional rainfall could cause new floods and landslides. Environmental activists are calling this storm a wake-up call. "This is not just a random error," said Lucia Marinel of Climate Italia. "This is the result of decades of neglecting environmental policy of urban planning. We must change now." International support has begun to arrive at the form of offer assistance from the European Union of neighboring countries. Italian celebrities, soccer players and Pope have been experiencing their solidarity. In the heart of the Mediterranean, the Italian island of Sicily has long been synonymous with the sun of the tempting coastline and seductive blend of the history and culture. However, this idyllic landscape recently has been transformed into a dramatic scene of nature fury. A formidable storm marked by resounding rain and fierce winds and lashed Sicily, unveiling the vulnerable of even the most picturesque square of the region with the firms of weather. The storm onslaught was achieved with the meteorologists barely able to predict and intensify before the unleashed food and made the apex of fury. Within hours, streets and town crises across the Sicily were inundated, transformed urban center into unwelcoming, water-loaded mazes. The rain, increasing unforgiving, pointed the green portrait of the region undecided by the elements. In Palermo, the Sicilian capital, scenes and the chaos unfolded. As scene streets and usually burst with the life and aroma of Sicily, crash while deserted save for a section of vehicles struggling against the rising water. The iconic Tragedie, a testament of Sicily agriculture, dangerous stood with the silence within to unflooding calamity. In Venice, a city all too familiar, and the high water level flow definitions were put on the test. The iconic most barriers designed to protect the crisis from the rising test were activities sheltered the Venice from significant damage. However, other areas of the region were not so fortunate. Many towns and villages in the Veneto region saw extensive flooding with the residents forced to higher ground. The Italian government has declared a state of emergency in several regions, mobilizing rescue workers to deploy to area to assist in evacuation force. Civil protection authorities have urged people to affected areas to remain cautious to offshore warning as more rain forecast in the coming days. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni visited in the affected areas, expressing her solidarity with the victims and pledging government support to reconfuse the force. This is national emergency, and we are working closely to local authority to ensure the safety for all residents, she said. Climate experts that such extreme weather events could become more frequent due to climate change. Italy, with a varied geography, particularly vulnerable to affected changing weather patterns. The combination of heavy rainfall, poor mountain infrastructure and urban expansion into food-poor areas has exacerbated the impact of recent storms.